Today we're going to look at some terrible, bad combos in Magic the Gathering that actually work. Alright, let's start this conversation off with one of the more disgusting suggestions I've seen in my comments section. Scoot Swarm! So for a green and 2 generic, we have a 1/1 insect with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. And if you control at least 6 or more lands, create a token that's a copy of Scoot Swarm instead. Now the whole idea is this deck is going to have 3 cards. Scoot Swarm, lands, and the Cultivator Colossus. Because for 7 mana, we got Trample, and when it enters the battle, its power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. But here's the deal. When Cultivator Colossus enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you do, draw a card and repeat this process. And with a maximum number of lands in your deck, just fill the whole deck with as many lands as possible. You'll basically make as many Scoot Swarms as possible until you run into another Scoot Swarm. Or actually, you could probably keep this going for quite a while. Because even if you draw a Scoot Swarm, so long as you still have lands in your hand, it will still work. You just put a land onto the battlefield. You draw a Cultivator Colossus, you just put another land onto the battlefield. Or you just cast your Cultivator Colossus. You could probably just I mean, the lands don't even... Oh, no, the lands do come onto the battlefield tapped. All right, you gotta wait till next turn to put your Cultivator Colossus into play. Disgustingly bad combo. But if you pull this off, it's gonna be insane. 4 deck, 4 Scoot Swarm, 4 Cultivator Colossus, 52 forests. I can see it now. Unbelievable and unbeatable. All right, another weird combo is Grenzo Dungeon Warden. A 2/2 creature enters the battlefield with some counters, but the most important ability is pay 2, put the bottom card of your library into your graveyard. If it's a creature card with power less than or equal to Grenzo's power, put it onto the battlefield instead. What are we going to be putting on the bottom of our library into the graveyard? Like, what's the combo card? It's Time Stream Navigator. For 1 blue, 1 generic, we have a 1/1 human pirate wizard with the activated ability of blue, 2 generic, tap, put Time Stream Navigator on the bottom of its owner's library. That's yours. Take an extra turn after this one. Activate this ability only if you have the City's Blessing, which you're going to need a send for. If you control 10 or more permanents, you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. So the whole idea is you take an extra turn, put Time Stream Navigator on the bottom of your library, then activate Grenzo for 2 mana, put the bottom card of your library into the graveyard. It's going to be a creature just naturally smaller than Grenzo. Then you get to put it directly onto the battlefield and get... Yeah, this is infinite turns. So you have to do this simultaneously in 1 turn. So you activate, get your extra turn, but before your turn ends, use Grenzo to get the Time Stream Navigator back onto the battlefield, take your next turn, and then rinse and repeat for eternity. We got Dr. Django. Dr. Django's here. I've used Marin of the Clan Nell, Toth, and Spore Frog to stall games for quite a while. Okay, let's look up Spore Frog. I know what Spore Frog is. The fogging frog. That darn fogging frog. Damn foggers. Go fog yourself. And Marin of the Clan Nell. Never heard of this card. Marin of... Oh, sorry. Not Marin of Clan. What is this? Alright, so Marin of Clan Nell Toth. Green, black, 2 generic for a 3/4. Human Shaman. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. So you get some experience at the expense of someone else's death. Always learn from other people's mistakes, boys and girls. At the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's converted mana cost is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return to the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Excellent. So you get to fog. You get some experience. And then the experience counter's number is 1. Spore Frog has converted mana cost 1. Boom. You get your Spore Frog back, and go get some more experience. Alright, what do you guys have for Stuffy Godal and Guilty Conscience? People know this one. This is a good... Well, I don't know, maybe this is a bad combo. This is a bad combo that's really popular. Guilty Conscience. Oops. The whole idea is, okay, hold on, what was Stuffy Doll? It's indestructible. Whenever it's dealt damage, you deal that much damage to a player, but you equip it with Guilty Conscience, so that whenever you deal damage to a player, Guilty Conscience deals that much damage to your own creature. So you deal just some, can it deal damage? Yeah, it deals 1 damage to itself. Oh, I hurt myself, which means I'm going to deal that much damage to you, and then the Guilty Conscience says, oh, I dealt you damage, oh, I feel bad about it, I'm gonna deal damage to myself, and then, well, I dealt damage to myself, so I'll deal damage to you, and you keep doing this until your opponent is dead. Liquid Soul, Goblin Sharpshooter, and Venom, I've never heard of this one. Goblin Sharpshooter, and Venomous Fangs. Those be some big fangs. Whenever enchanted creature successfully deals damage to a creature, destroy that creature. Alright, fair enough. Oh, it doesn't untap during your untap step. Whenever a creature dies, untap Goblin Sharpshooter. Goblin Sharpshooter deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So what? It's basically one shot. Turns everything into like... Turns Goblin Sharpshooter into the Golden Gun, is what you're telling me here. You know, we used to have some really weird, stupid mallet contraption, but then it turned it into the Golden Gun, because whenever it deals a single point of damage, destroy that creature. Just do an alter, the artist alter here. Get some GoldenEye 64 graphics in here. The Golden Goblin! I like that, the Golden Goblin. Okay, Valerio with a weird Sundial of the Infinite. And Final Fortune. What's going on over here? Wait, take an extra turn after this one. At the end of that turn, you lose the game. Are you sure about that, Sana? Are you sure about that? It appears that you have a plan. That plan is Sundial of the Infinite. A two-mana generic artifact. Pay 1, tap. End the turn! Activate this ability only during your turn. Well, that's just fancy. Because, hold on, no, take an extra turn after this one. I see. So you can just end the turn. At the end of that turn. I assume it means at the end step? At the beginning of that turn's end step, yeah, we have, it's more clear here. You lose the game. Well, you'll never get to the end step if you just end the turn immediately with Sundial of the Infinite. What a cheesy way of, not losing the game. Well, Final Fortune is not that expensive. I always thought this was a more expensive card. Turns out it's only like an $8 card. Infinite turns. Infinite shame from all your friends. Shane, thanks so much for the super chat. Love the content, Nikachu. Try this one. Maskwood Nexus. Fractured Identity. Maskwood Nexus. Here come the 3-card combos. Fractured Identity. And Fractured Identity. Oh, that card's a beating. And Suemon's Legacy. Okay, so first off, Maskwood Nexus says creatures you control are every creature type. And you can pay 3 tap, make a 2/2 blue. Blue? Shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. Fractured Identity says exile target non-land permanent. Each player other than its controller creates a token that's a copy of it. That card's a beating in draft. In Vintage Cube, I think this is like there is no larger card that swings the game than Fractured Identity. I might have stabilized the board completely with a huge bomb, and then they just play Fractured Identity against me, and I've lost my bomb, and they have the bomb. Someone set us up the bomb. Okay, what's the legacy card for? White-red enchantment. When Suleiman's Legacy enters the battlefield, bury all Djinns and Ifrits. So all the creatures, right? Whenever a Djinn or a Ifrit comes into play, bury it. So wait, creatures you control are every creature type. The same is true for... Okay, how does this work? I don't know how this works. Exile target non-land permanent. Each player other than its controller creates a copy of it. Now I'm lost. Whenever Degenerate Free enters the battlefield. So, like, I understand. Okay, I see this one. Maskwood creatures you control are every... Oh, hold on. You're giving everyone a Maskwood Nexus. Each player other than its... You fractured identitied your own Maskwood Nexus? This is insane. Okay, I get it now. So you fractured identity, your Maskwood Nexus, everyone else gets a Maskwood Nexus. This is a bit of a tongue twister, people. Say Maskwood Nexus 3 times fast. So that means that all their creatures are changelings. Then the Suleiman's Legacy says, bury all your Djinns and Ifrits, and you... Maskwood Nexus turns all your stuff into Ifrits and Djinns. And whenever they play one... they have to be destroyed. All right, that's pretty sick. That's a crazy combo. Yeah, it's a bizarre way of making stasis. Mono blue legacy stasis. All right, we got King Ginger here. Life and Limb. You have my Cradle of Growth. And Plague Crafter. Oh, hold on, I have some super chats. Sorry about that. There's another super. I'm gonna get to you, Crimson Wolf. Totally forgot about you. Plague Crafter. Okay, so how does this thing work? Life and Limb, green 3 generic enchantment. All forests and saplings are 1/1 green sapling creatures and forest lands. Excuse me. All forests... Okay, let's start this all over again. All forests and saplings are 1/1 green sapling creatures and forest lands in addition to their other types. All forests and all saplings. Okay, so we want to make everything a forest. So you're saying everything is a forest, so everything are all forests and all saplings are 1/1. Okay, so you're turning everything into a 1/1 green sapling creature. And then you're playing Plague Crafter. When there's a battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can't discards a card. I don't understand this part. So everyone has a creature to sack, don't they? When there's the battlefield, each player sacks a creature or plant. Unless you want to make people sack their lands, which is the point. Oh, Plague Engineer. Oh, okay, yeah. Plague Crafter don't make no sense. Okay, now I get it. You're playing Armageddon the hard way. Because you just say, okay, we're going to choose Saproling. And I believe you choose Saproling, right? Is that what we're naming here? Become a 1/1 green yeah. So you name Saproling. Plague Engineer says creatures of that chosen type get a -1/-1. Boom goes all your land. Do we have an explosion sound effect here? No, I think that's the best thing. That's the best thing I've got. All right, let's look at some super chats over here. We've got Crimson Wolf. Thanks so much for your super chat. Mesmeric Orb and... Is this a combo? Mesmeric Orb. And Gaia's Blessing. Whenever a permanent becomes untapped, that player mills a card. And Gaia's Blessing, target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into their library. Draw a card. When Gaia's Blessing is put into a graveyard from your library, shuffle your graveyard into your library. Put into your graveyard from... Oh, so basically what you're just saying is, we're going to go infinite mill. Everyone going to get milled. But you're not going to get milled because you've got the Gaia's Blessing in your deck. I see we're getting on here. Oh, we got Geyer here with Chatterfang, Parallel Lives, and Pitiless Plunderer. Chatterfang. Parallel Lives. What's the price on Parallel Lives? I sold that damn thing. Oh, God, it's like $50 now. You gotta be kidding me. Didn't they just reprint this thing? They didn't. Oh, we thought it was going to get reprinted. I didn't diamond hand. Oh, you know what? I'm happy I sold my Parallel Lives. Who knows when it gets reprinted. Pitiless Plunderer. Pitiless Plunderer. Okay, what's going on with this combo? Chatterfang is the Forest Walk thing. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead. You can pay a black, sack X squirrels to give a creature plus X minus X until end of turn. Then we have Parallel Lives. Double them. You make tokens double it, double or nothing. And then whenever another creature you control dies, create a colorless treasure token with tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So I think the idea is if one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead. So you're making do you have infinite mana? I think you have infinite mana, infinite sack outlets, I think, because every single time, so with every treasure token you can sack a squirrel, and then every time you sack a squirrel you get a colorless treasure artifact. Actually, you get 2. So if you get 1 treasure, you get 2 treasure. And if you get 1 squirrely, you get a second squirrely thanks to the Parallel Lives. So you do get infinite. You have infinite creatures, infinite mana, infinite possibilities. Sweet combo. So we're going to look at more combos. Don't forget, we're not going anywhere. Don't click that channel or anything. We gotta thank our sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. If you're looking to play any of these janky, awful combos that actually work, pull them off in your own play group or metagame. You know where to buy them from. You get them at FusionGamingOnline.com. Deal of the week this week, only applicable to the Canadians out there. Save 15% off all booster packs. Damn, that sealed product is sealed only to local countries. But singles can be sold anywhere, so don't be ashamed of buying singles. They ship worldwide. And don't forget, when you buy your singles, use coupon code Nikachu at checkout for 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. So I can, one day I play Merfolk, another day I can play Goblins. I can play Elves if I'm itching for it. Because you can play any deck when you're renting with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_EK2. And now back to the bad combos. That's actually a pretty good combo. You actually use this combo is not too bad because you got to use this is a good card. This is a good card. Like, you're just using good cards. A lot of these other combos are just full of garbage. That just happen to do something good. These are good combos just by themselves. So Gare had a pretty interesting combo. Thanks so much for the super chat, Baron Brendan. Mirror box or mirror gallery? Mirror box it is. Plus Kratis. Plus infinite reflection. Oh, please let this be easy. Plus 1 cost creatures. All right, Curse Catcher. It better work. You said 1 cost creatures. I chose Curse Catcher. Mirror box. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control. Each legendary creature you control gets +1/+1, and each non-token creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name as that creature. Each non-token creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name. Okay, so everything has to have the same name. Kratis has hexproof unless it's attacking or blocking. Can't be blocked unless all creatures defending player blocks it. All right, you block with one, you block with all. Infinite Reflection, enchant creature. When Infinite Reflection enters the battlefield, attached to a creature, each other non-token creature you control becomes a copy of that creature. Non-token creatures you control enter the battlefield as a copy. Non-token creatures you control enter the battlefield as a copy of enchanted creature. I don't get it. So I think you want to put Infinite Reflections on Trauma Kratis. Is that what you want to do? Is that what we're doing here? And then you just play 1-drops and turn them into Trauma Kratis? And then what's the point of Mirror Box? Legend rule doesn't apply. Is this legendary? It is legendary. Oh, and they're going to get infinitely big. Oh, okay. So how does the rules work? So, like, if you block 1, oh, I see. So you can't block all the Trauma Kratises. So if I understand this correctly, you can't block all the Trauma Kratis. Well, not all the creatures are unblockable. 1 creature can be blocked. 1 Trauma Kratis. Yeah, Trauma Kratis can't be blocked unless all creatures defending player controls block it. So, like, you can only block one Trauma Kratis, and then all the imposter Trauma Kratises get through. I don't know what the point of the 1-drops. I just play any random creatures. Interesting. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Okay, next super chat, Wing of Shu. Need mana, 2x Mirror Galvanizer. Someone still believes in kitchen table magic. 1 Paladin mirror. Someone loves mirrors. Paladin mirror? Oops. I wrote down 1 Paladin mirror like I'm writing a recipe here. You had 2 Mirror Galvanizer, 1 Palladium. What is it called? Palladium mirror. And just have bombs to spend the mana on. Okay, and then some bomb. Channel Fireball. Sorry, Fireball. Or Hurricane or something. Okay, how does this work? We need 2 Mirror Galvanizer. Other mirrors you control get +1/+1. Pay 1. Tap. Untap each mirror you control. And then, so we need 2 of these. Because I guess we use 1 to untap everything. And then we use the other one to untap. Ah, I see. And then the other one, this is infinite mana. Yeah, we have 1. We need 2 Mirror Galvanizers. Then just a dash of Palladium Mirror. And you have infinite mana. Because we tap for 2. Pay 1. Untap everything. Then we still have 1 floating. Use the other mirror that untaps everything to untap everything. Or untap all other ones. Then we float another 2. And we got infinite mana. Which means the Fireball don't work. I don't know. We could have a big Ugin or something. Cool stuff. We got the... What is this? The Norn the Wary. Sorry, the Monocle Rogue. The Monocle Rogue with Norn the Wary and Confusion in the ranks. Confusion. It hurt itself in confusion. How does that even happen? Anyone play Pokemon just like, it hurt itself in confusion? That makes no sense. Since when do we like hurt ourselves in confusion? I was mistaken. I made a mistake. Got confused and ended up accidentally punching myself. Confusion. Okay, so how does Confusion in the ranks work? Red, 3 generic. Whenever an artifact, creature, or enchantment comes into play, its controller chooses target permanent. Another player controls that shares a creature type with it. Exchange control of those permanents. Norn the Wary. Whenever a player plays a spell, or a creature attacks, remove Norn the Wary from the game, return it to play under its owner's control. Oh, so are you saying you're using this as your commander, and you basically get to steal infinite things with Norn the Wary? Is this how it works? And then when it gets removed from the game, it goes back under your control? I don't know if that's exactly how it works. Under Confusion, you can get dizzy and fall. I guess, under enough stress. Whenever an artifact, creature, or enchantment comes into play, and then when it comes to play, you just exchange it for another creature and keep stealing their creatures. If that's how I understand how it works. I don't know if that's how it works. It looks cool, and it's within colors, and they're 2 reasonable cards. I'm gonna have to look. You guys let me know if this actually is legal. I'm just wondering if we play a spell. Norn the Wary gets exiled. Does it go back under your control as a commander? Or, like, does it get exiled into your exile? I don't know whose exile zones belong to who. Or does it just make, like, a jank board state where everyone is just keep tossing the Norn the Wary around? Anyway, it's a neat combo. I see the combo. I just don't know what the result of it is from a legal point of view. Tetra, thanks so much for the super chat. Leonin Arbiter, Head Games. And fail to pay. They get 0 cards. Head Games, black, 3 generic. Sorcery, target opponent puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into What? Target opponent puts the cards from their library on top of their... Sorry, from their hand on top of their library. Search that player's library for that many cards. The player puts those cards into his or her hand, then shuffles his or her library. How the hell does this thing work? They put cards in their hand on the library. Search that library for that many cards. Oh, so it just tutors. It's a weird thing. It's a it's a sorcerer. You just, okay, put your hand on your library and then get that many cards. And then, and then they get nothing. Player can't search libraries unless they pay 2. So make sure when you got the Leonin Arbiter out and they're tapped out, you go in for the head games. And you basically make them discard their entire hand. Or no, hold on. They can't search their library. So actually their hand just goes on top of their library. That's weird. Yeah, it goes directly on top of their library. So they're going to get it eventually. Hopefully they were sandbagging lands the entire time. Rage Kitty! Thank you so much for the super chat. Naxaw Cleek. You know what's interesting about this show? I learned about cards I've never heard of Naxaw Cleek before. Paradise Mantle. Oh, that one I know. And Training Grounds. Wait, what does Naxaw Cleek do? We got a blue 3 generic for a 1/4 fairy rogue flying. With the unique ability of paying a blue 1 generic and untapping it. Target opponent removes the top card of his or her library from the game. Until end turn, you may play that card. Sweet. And then Paradise Mantle says you can tap the creature. It's an equipment. Tap the creature, add a mana. So we can pay for half of this? So we can tap the Naxaw Cleek for a mana and then untap it. But we still have to pay a mana to untap it. But we have Training Grounds. Oh, so the colorless part is going to disappear, and then we can pay for the blue with the Paradise Mantle. So you get infinite, what is it, infinite card draw? Target opponent removes the top card of his or her library from the game until end of turn. You may play that card. Oh, no, you're milling them. We go, yo, Millie, silly Millie. Silly Billy Millie milling out the opponent here. Because this whole ability is free. Yeah, we just remove your entire library from the game. I'm not even going to play anything. Who cares? That's sweet. The Naxaw Click. Or Cleek. What do you guys think? Cleek or Click? I use both. I like both of them. John with a super chat. Legion Loyalty, Mixenth Lattice. Lattice! Is there some called as Legion? Oh, I thought you were talking about Legion Loyalist. There's actually a card called Legion Loyalty. Mixenth Lattice. The Lattice and Hellkite Tyrant. What do any of these cards have in common? Nothing at all! Okay, we have this 8 mana white enchantment. Creatures control have Myriad. Whenever a creature with Myriad attacks for each opponent other than defending player, you may create a token that's a copy of that creature that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Exile the tokens at end of combat. But what does Mixenth Lattice have anything to do with this? Everything's an artifact. All cards that aren't onto the battlefield, spells and permanents are colorless. Players may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. Then we have Hellkite Tyrant. When it deals damage to a player, gain control of all Oh! I got my dragons mixed up. I thought this was the dragon. You pay mana, you get an extra attack. No, we're going to just steal all their artifacts at the beginning of your upkeep. And you get like, what, you get a Hellkite Tyrant for each opponent. Whenever a creature with Myriad attacks, you may create a token. All right, so we're going to steal everything. Everything you have, it's mine. It's basically the IRS. What is yours is mine. So the IRS is like, what's mine is mine, and what's yours, it's also mine. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game. Ah, easy. You guys have 20 stuff in play combined? Why? Oh, nothing. Yeah, also a win condition. Pretty sick. Crimson Wolf is back with another super chat. What, Stasis and Pharrell Zarrick? Does it work? Pharrell Zarrick. The OG one, right? There's a, 'cause I think there's a lot of Pharrell Zarricks out there. Tap target permanent, then untap another target permanent. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're gonna pay for Stasis right there. You'll pay for that blue thing for eternity. And then I guess at -7, you get to flip 5 coins, take an extra turn after this one. Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is, like, play a land, and you're good to go. Wow, it's as simple as that. You go Stasis, and you slam the Pharrell Zarrick, and your opponent's effed. You know what? There's a lot of good combos I could use on my main channel here. This is a great combo. Never heard of it either. You guys are, like, giving me some insanely good combos. No bad ones here today. Good David J with the super. Sorry, everyone, that this is so pay to win today. I already did this one in another show, but Luris plus Kaya's Ghost form and Phyrexian Altar and any ETB trigger. Enchant the cat, sack enchant again. Did we look at this one before? Or did I just not see it? Luris, Kaya's Ghost form. Phyrexian Altar. And then any ETB trigger or something trigger. I don't know what LTB trigger is. Enchant cat, sack, enchant again. Okay, so Luris is going to be enchanted by Kai's ghost form. Each creature or planeswalker you control. Sorry, enchant creature or planeswalker you control. When enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield into your control. Ah, I see. So you put on Luris, it dies, probably to what, the Phyrexian Altar. Add 1 mana of any color. So you have infinite, like, sack or death triggers, and then if anything could take advantage of the triggers. So with your Phyrexian Altar, we sack the Luris. Kai's Ghost form says, hey, Luris, welcome back. But then Luris looks at the Kaya's Ghost form as if it's there for the first time. And you know what? We got some black mana from the Phyrexian Altar. Let's spend it on the Kaya's Ghost form to put it back on Luris. Then sack Luris to the Phyrexian Altar to get the Luris back, in order to then replay Kai's Ghost form from the graveyard. Neat combo. Neat combo. All right, let's take a combo from the streets. Muldrifter, and is it that easy? And whoops, where'd I go? Brought back. We're bringing it back. So hold on, we've got flying, enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards. Don't you need 5 mana for this? Choose up to 2 target permanent cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Return them back to the battlefield tapped. I guess you get extra cards doing this. I'm just thinking, if you have 3 mana to evoke and then 2 mana for brought back, why don't you just cast Muldrifter? Am I right? Am I right? It wasn't really a joke, but whatever. Oh, we got a super chat from Voitek. Welcome, Voitek. Thank you very much for your super chat. Another Lattice combo. Miko, Synth, Lattice. Oh, God. And Underworld. What's going on here? Underworld Dreams. Coveted Jewel. And Masterful Replication. How masterful. Play on wide enough board an opponent will KO or deck out. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you get four cards with the Muldrifter broadback combo, but you also no, you actually get more than 4 cards because the Muldrifter comes back, right? So you get like 5 cards because Muldrifter's there too. Okay, Lattice. Everything's an artifact. Everything's colorless. Underworld Dreams. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to that player. Okay. Coveted Jewel. Enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, add... what's like a Black Lotus. Add 3 mana of any 1 color. That's pretty broken. Whenever 1 or more creatures an opponent controls attack you and aren't blocked, that player draws 3 cards and gains control of Coveted Jewel. Untap it. Whenever 1 or more creatures an opponent controls attack you and aren't blocked? Well, that's a hefty downside. They get 3 cards and they get the Coveted Lotus. Masterful Replication. Create 2 3/3 colorless golem creature tokens. Choose target artifact you control. Each other artifact you control becomes a copy of that artifact until end of turn. Okay, now I don't know what's going on here. How did this thing work? I'm lost. Where is this combo? I think you said you want to draw out your opponent's deck. Choose target artifact you control. Each other artifact you control becomes a copy of that artifact until end of turn. Whenever an opponent draws a card, it deals 1 damage to that player. Are you just trying to make your opponent die per card draw? I think maybe that's how it's supposed to be. Everything becomes a jeweled lotus. Oh, I see. Everything becomes a jeweled lotus. Oh, it's instant speed, and it's instant speed. Hold on. Whenever one or more creatures and opponent controls attacks you aren't blocked, that player draws 3 cards. But you have to do it before they attack, right? Or am I wrong? Whenever opponent draws a card, deals 1 damage to that player. Like, the way I'm reading this, you have to copy everything. Everything becomes a jeweled lotus, and then they have to attack. Because you can't masterful replication the coveted jewel after they've attacked, because the triggers would have already gone on the stack. Whenever one or more creatures and opponent controls attacks you and they aren't blocked, that player draws 3 cards. Is there an ETB? No. When it enters the battlefield, draw 3. Oh, you want to hit him with the ETB, and everyone get 1. Each other artifact. No, but it's each other artifact you control, so you just draw 1 million cards. Nikachu makes me. I told them in the last episode, if it's 4 cards, you gotta tell me how this damn thing works, damn it. You have priority and declare blockers, no? Yeah, but like, you can't. Whenever one or more creatures and opponent controls attacks you and aren't blocked. Oh, it's not just on attack, and it has to be on and blocked. Oh, here come everyone in the comments section. Nikachu, you're not reading the card again. I see. Sweet. So then we masterful replication the coveted jewel after the attacker step. We don't block. You draw your cards, and you lose 1 million life through the underworld dreams. Interesting. Sweet stuff. No. Oh, Isaiah just loves to give me money. Thank you so much, Isaiah. But I'm sure you have a combo. Where's your combo, Isaiah? I don't see it. I mean, unless you want to give me $10. It's less work for me, but on the other hand, that's what makes it fun. If you give me a combo, I'll showcase it to everybody. All right, we got Eric here with the super chat. 4 lands, tap, shield dread. That's it. That's the combo. Yeah, in some cases, like, I've definitely lost to this combo in Pioneer many times. The 1-card combo, shield dread. It's on the battlefield. You can do anything about it? No? Okay, well, you're just gonna die to whatever. What's in chat? Did Isaiah have a combo earlier? I don't see this combo. Oh, here's Isaiah. There was a combo. YouTube has been screwed with me in the past couple of days. You can't post links if that's what you're trying to do. And sometimes, depending on what you say, it might get automatically blocked. So, you know. Or I guess it can't be too long either. Oh, here we go. I got you, Isaiah. Mirror Mad Phantasm in your graveyard. Mirror Mad Phantasm in your graveyard. Necrotic Ooze. And Thassa's Oracle. Huge fan of Thassa's Oracle. Everyone hates Thassa's Oracle. I have no problem with this. Thassa's Oracle for days. Okay, so the Mirror Mad Phantasm needs to be in the graveyard already. So blue, 3 generic, flying, 5/1. Blue 1 generic, Mirror Mad Phantasm's owner shuffles it into his or her library. Oh, so it has to be in the graveyard. If that player does, he or she reveals cards on the top of that library until a card named Mirror Mad Phantasm is revealed. That player puts that card onto the battlefield and all other cards revealed this way into his or her graveyard. And then we're going to use Necrotic Ooze for something. As long as Necrotic Ooze is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all creature cards in graveyards. And we're going to Thassa's Oracle? How does this work? I assume This thing's always, you know, so this thing's always gonna have the ability of the Mirror Mad Oh, so like you basically can keep milling yourself over and over and over again. So I'm assuming you're always gonna name the Mirror Mad Phantasm. But then how do you get your Thassa's Oracle? How do you get the Thassa's Oracle? Or do you just name Thassa's Oracle? Mirror Mad Phantasm's owner shuffles into his or her library. If that player does, he or she reveals cards on the top of the library until a card named Mirror Mad Phantasm. No, you can't name anything except Mirror Mad Phantasm. Player puts all cards onto the battlefield. Oh, player puts that card onto the battlefield and all other cards revealed this way into his or her graveyard. If this is, yeah, I'm guessing that you keep finding the Mirror Mad Phantasm. So the deal is, it looks like you're going to put your Thassa's Oracle in the graveyard, and I guess you just have to reanimate it. So you have a way of putting everything into the graveyard, if I understand this correctly. Seems like a really bad Oracle combo. Hey, read the title of the show. Bad combos that actually work. So it mulches your deck, then you play Thassa. Yeah, but like how do you know, you're going to mulch your Thassa away, right? Or what happens to all the creatures? That player then puts onto the battlefield and all other cards revealed this way into his or graveyard. So you basically, you put your entire deck in the graveyard. I just don't know how you get use. I guess you could just use some reanimator spell from your graveyard. I'm sure that like Unburial Rites or something. And then you put Thassa's Oracle back onto the battlefield. Don't you need a sack outlet? Because you put this onto the battlefield, right? So I guess there has to be some sack outlet. Gotta use a little bit of imagination. Just have it in hand. Yeah, that's a solution as well. Okay, Santa. So, hold on, is there any other super chats? Sorry, Santa. There's a super chat. We gotta prioritize the super chats. The Monocle Rogue, Laboratory Maniac, then play Demonic Consultation at the end of your opponent's turn. Don't you need to draw a card, though? If you draw a card while you're... Oh, yeah, but it has to have nothing. And then Demonic Consultation. It's a bit old school, isn't it? It's the old way. This is like the Maniac... This is Maniac Consultation. Demonic Maniac! If you draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game. So at the end of your opponent's turn, Demonic Consultation. Name Bird Wizard, which doesn't exist. And then there's nothing in there. You take your turn and you win the game. But you know what? If your opponents let you take a full rotation with Laboratory Maniac, they deserve to lose. It's their fault. Their fault. Alright, Santa tries so hard. Omniscience. Approach of the Second Sun and Narset's Reversal. Oh, you're gonna copy your spell. Did you really need Omniscience, though? You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. Can't you just have a boatload of mana? This is just a 2-card combo, isn't it? Approach of the Second Sun. If Approach of the Second Sun was cast from your hand and you've cast another spell named Approach of the Second Sun this game, you win the game. Otherwise, put Approach of the Second Sun into its owner's library, 7 from the top. I don't see what's so important about, like, Omniscience seems to be extra steps, right? Because you can just go Approach of the Second Sun, Narset's Reversal, right? Copy target instant or sorcery spell, then return it to its owner's hand. You may choose new targets for the copy. If I understand this correctly. And then you just play Approach of the Second Sun, I guess, next turn. Oh, I see. It's a lot of mana. It's a lot of manas. Yeah, big mana. Big mana combo. I mean, if you have enough mana, you can just do it with 2 cards, though. That's the spirit of a bad combo that actually works. Tron lands is a bad combo. Alright, we've got Kendachi with a World Fire. And Chandra, Awakened Inferno. Wait, isn't this the one with the, yeah, +2. Each opponent gets an emblem. At the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you, each opponent. Step 1, Chandra, Awaken Inferno. Step 2, World Fire. That's pretty good, actually. I like this one. I like this one. And they won't even see it coming. And it's on curve, too, because you get to play the Chandra first. and then you go play the World Fire later. Exile all permanents, exile all cards from hands and graveyards. Each player's life total becomes 1. And guess what? The emblems don't get exiled. You lose everything but the emblem. That's a pretty cool combo. Crowcore Games is back with Maryland, Ad Nauseam, Sickening Dreams, and 97 lands. Now we're talking. And Sickening Dreams. Oh, my infinite money machine glitch is working. Okay, black 1 generic. Sorcery has an additional cost to play Sickening Dreams. Discard X cards from your hand. Sickening Dreams deals X damage to each creature and each player. How does this work? Okay, players can't draw cards. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player loses 3 life, searches his or her library for a card, puts into his or her hand, then shuffles his or her library. So I guess you look for Ad Nauseam. It's an additional cost to play. So you Ad Nauseam, you can Ad Nauseam in your entire deck. It's just going to be 90. What was it? 97 lands? Oh, Marlin is your commander. Okay, Marlin the commander. Oh, this is a sick deck. How budget is this? This is like a $50 weird combo deck. And then you Ad Nauseam the entire deck. It's an additional cost to play Sickening Dreams. Discard X cards from your hand, your entire deck. Sickening Dreams deals X damage to each creature and each player. Holy crap! So how do you live? Or maybe that's not the point. We're not going to live. We all go down together. The ship we all go down with the ship. So no one can feel upset. It's garbage, but it's so funny. It's not that bad. Yeah, if you don't, if only Marlin didn't say each player. I don't think it's too bad. Although, you know, good luck getting the Ad Nauseam to resolve. Just go 1 land drop at a time, land. Because I mean, this is what's happening, right? You play your Marlin, land. Oh, you have 2 more lands. You've already played 2 lands. You go your Ad Nauseam, and everyone's like, but then you reveal land, basic. It's all swamps, right? You can go mono black, Maryland of the Morn Song combo. That's so cool. Voitek is back. Seer Conrad, the Grim, Arcane Adaptation. Arcane Adaptation. So many people wanted me to make a Merfolk deck with this card. I'm like, all my Merfolk are already. Oh, you're gonna name Spirit and then name Death Aspect. Name Death Aspect. It's a black 4 generic 4/4 Spirit. Comes into play. You may search your library for any number of Spirit cards and put them into your graveyard. If you do, shuffle your library. And so what Arcane says, creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. This is true for creature spells you control and creature cards that you own that aren't on the battlefield. So own means in your deck. So you can put like basically all the creatures in your deck into your graveyard. And then Seer Conrad the Grim says black 3 generic. It's a 5/4. Whenever another creature dies, or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Seer Conrad deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then you mill a card. What kind of payoff is this? So whenever another creature dies, or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere. Oh! So you just dump a bunch of spirits into the graveyard and shoot one person down to death. Or a creature card leaves the graveyard. It deals 1 damage to each opponent. Sweet. So basically, name Death Aspect enters the battle. So you have to have this already on the battlefield. Arcane Adaptation. Put a bunch of spirits from your deck into the graveyard. Guy will shoot everyone for 1 billion damage. Herbert! Thanks so much, Herbert. What's up, Herbert? Frail Eyes of the Winds. Or Frail Eyes' Winds. Tayum. Hoping there's just 1 Tayum. 3 mana dorks or lands that are creatures to play somewhat normally, but your opponent cannot. Oh, so we're trying to lock our opponents out somehow? Okay, what do the cards even do? Okay, Frail Winds says a green 2 generic enchantment. Whenever a permanent becomes tapped, put a wind counter on it. Can you hear the wind? If a permanent with a wind counter on it would untap during its controller's untap step, remove all wind counters from it instead. So you don't untap with it. But Tayam says each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional vigilance counter on it. Pay 3, remove 3 counters from among creatures you control. Remove 3 counters from among 3 creatures you control. Put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, then return a permanent card with convert mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, I see. Okay, and then with the 3 mana dorks. So you're going to pay 3, they get win counters, then you remove the win counters, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, then return a permanent card. So you get to play a little bit of a game, but your opponents are like sort of pseudo-locked out of the game. It's more janky and clunky for them with the Frailize the Winds. And David, thanks so much for the super chat. Chronotalk. And Smokestack. On Chronotalk. And Smoky Stack. I could make this card work in Vintage Cube. I tried. Keep skipping turns. Skip your next turn. Chronotalk gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Use this ability only once each turn. This card on the surface looks terrible. Skip your next turn for 3 to get +3/+3. Then at the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a soot counter on Smokestack. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacks. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a permanent for each soot counter on Smokestack. So, but we have to get them. Skip your next. So you can at the end of your opponent's turn, skip your turn, so you don't lose anything. Ah, your opponents just keep losing things with Smokestack. Neat. Very, 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 very neat. Very creative. Very creative around here. We got Blood Spits for the super chat. Where's your combo? Blood Spits. White Mane Lion and... What is White Mane? White Mane Lion. There's a White Mane Lion. And Aralen. Oralen. Is it Oralen or is it Marlin? Do these work? There's no Oralen. I'm guessing it's Marlin. I hope it's Marlin. When it enters the battlefield, return a creature you control to its owner's hand. It's got flash. I don't know how this works. If it works at all. Oh, is there one more with Rin and Siri? Or is it a Lurin? You gotta give me the... Also, please give me the combo all-in-one. I don't want to, like, dig through chat for it. Rin and Siri. When you super chat, you have time. Take your time to get that combo in there. With the correct spelling. Okay, how does this work? Okay, we got a White Mane Lion. Any player may play creature cards that convert mana cost 3 or less without paying their mana cost as though they had flash. Alright, so you can play your White Mane Lion for free. And we have Rin and Siri, Inseparable. Where you cast a dog spell or cat spell, you get a 1/1. Pay 3, tap Rin and Siri, Inseparable deals damage to any target equal to the number of dogs you control. Oh, wait a minute, is this just infinite? So, whenever... You can bring back any card. Whenever White Mane Lion enters the battlefield, return a creature you control to its owner's hand. So, you just bounce itself. And the Lurin says you can just replay this White Mane Lion for eternity. And then you get, what, infinite dog... Whenever you play a cat spell, you get a dog. You get infinite dogs. No, you don't get infinite white, but you can play it infinitely. You get infinite dog creature tokens, though. That's a sweet combo. I like that one. Crimson Wolf, back again. Confusion in the ranks and Grip of Chaos. After this, I promise we'll get one from the crowd. Did we look at this one already? Whenever an artifact, creature, or enchantment comes into play, its controller does the switcheroo with those permanent types. Grip of Chaos. Whenever a spell or ability is put onto the stack, reselect its target at... Oh, God! Oh, my God. You're just here to cause trouble, aren't you, Crimson Wolf? You're just here to cause trouble. You're not... People who invite you out, you're not even trying to play the game, they would say. You know what? I knew someone like this. They just built decks that made chaos, just weird things happening, but they had no intention of winning the game whatsoever. Wasn't even slightly on their mind. Woodfall Primus. First day of class. First day of class, red 1 generic. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, put a counter on it. +1/+1 counter. It gains haste until end of turn. You also get to learn. I don't know what you're going to learn, but... and whenever Woodfall Primus enters the battlefield, destroy target non-creature permanent. It's got persist. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield... Oh! Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, put a counter on it, and it gains haste until end of turn. So we want to destroy your own creature? Does it carry it infinitely? You may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game. I don't know how this works. Would it just like enter the battlefield for eternity? Because it would persist, come back with nothing. But then if it still has this ability, whenever a creature enters the battlefield and you control this turn. I don't know, but it doesn't target it. It's just like first day of class Woodfall Primus. Honestly, don't know. You need a sack outlet? Anything? Okay. First day of class, wasn't sure that wasn't silver border. Some pleb! Oh god. Okay, so Ayula's influence. Rite of Harmony. Dakmor Salvage. Emrakul. How the hell does this work? Okay, we got the bear generator, right? Discard a card, create a 2/2 bear. Rite of Harmony says whenever a creature or enchantment enters the battlefield under you control, draw a card. Beautiful. I love drawing cards. Dakmor Salvage. So you dredge it back to your hand. Mill 2 cards, and then you can discard it to get a bear. The bear says you draw a card, but you're not going to draw a card. You're going to dredge 2, but then you're going to make a bear, and you're like, well, what's going to happen to my library? Am I going to run out of cards in my library? No! Emrakul! Hello! And just keep refreshing your graveyard back into your library, along with all the cards that you lost. And just do this for eternity. You have infinite bears. The bears. The bears. Nalia, Ivy, Lane Denizen, and Herd Baloth. And Herd Baloth. Herd Baloth, 4/4. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on Herd Baloth, you may create a 4/4 green beast creature token. Whenever another green creature token enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Oh! So, and it's this happens whenever a +1/+1 counter. So you keep getting a beast creature token, which will trigger the Ivy Lane Denizen, which then puts more counters on your Herd Baloth to get more tokens. Infinite big creatures. That's a nice one. Okay, who have I not got yet? Rodham! Inala as commander. Alright then. Lion's Eye Diamond in the graveyard. Or hand, okay. You need Emery in the graveyard? Or hand. Underworld Breach. And Thassa's Oracle in deck. I don't know how this works, but you just, like... These are just a bunch of broken cards. So I assume it will work. What does this guy do? Whenever another non-token wizard enters the battlefield under your control, if Inala Mage Ritualist is in the command zone or on the battlefield, you may pay 1. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that wizard. The token gains haste, exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Tap 5 on tap wizard you control. Target player loses 7 life. Honestly, I don't know how this works. I'm not going to try to guess, but it looks like just a bunch of broken cards that work together. 14 hours. Well, I've never seen you 14 hours. Welcome. Devilish Valet. Careful. Devilish Valet. You're giving them your mallet. SRAM's Expertise. And Kayla's Command. Kayla's Command. A white, 1 generic. Choose 2. Oh, man. Which one of these are we using? Oh, come on. Let's look at these first 2. Okay, Trample Haste. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, double Devilish Valley's power until end of turn. I guess we're going to try to win with this thing. And then SRAM's Expertise says, create 3 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature tokens. You may cast a card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. And I guess that's going to be this one. So what is this? Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control. So this is going to make a lot. This is going to double the power 3 times, right? And then we get to play Kayla's Command. Sorry, Kayla. She says choose 2, create a 2/2 colorless construct artifact creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control against double strike until end of turn. I guess we're going to use the double strike. Search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle, and you gain 2 life, gain Scry 2. So I guess we're going to choose double strike, the +1/+1 counter, and put a 2/2 colorless construct creature token onto the battlefield. That will double the power, so we get a counter on it, and as double strike, we're going to double the power 4 times. So it goes from a 2/2 to a 4/4 to an 8/8 to a 16/16 to a 32/32 with double strike. That'll kill anybody. That's dangerous. Okay, we have a bunch of super chats. So we have to this show has to go on for a little bit longer. All right, we get through the super chats. Blood Spits. Thanks so much for the super chat. I got another infinite for you. Zask Skittering Swarmlord. Into Maskwood Nexus. Into Bastion of Remembrance. Oops. And Ugin's Conjurant. No, let's do Stone Cold. Stone Coil Serpent. Because I know what this card is. How the hell? What on earth does any of this do? Okay, Zach, Skittering Swarmlord. You may play lands and cast insect spells from your graveyard. Whenever another insect you control dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library, then mill 2 cards. You can also pay the ability, target insect gets +1/+0 until end of... This is one of those combos I really wish you would tell me how it works, because there's a lot of abilities on these cards. Target insect gets +1/+0 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. This one creates, everything is the same creature type. So when Bastion of Remembrance enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. What the hell does this thing have to do with anything? You may play lands and cast... Keep super chat. I mean, basically that's how it's gonna go. You infinitely cast the X cost cards as insects for 0 and ping to death. Whenever another insect you control dies, put it onto the bottom of its owner's library, then mill 2 cards. You may play lands and cast insect spells from your graveyard. Oh, and then this is insect. So it's 0 mana. So this thing is just 0 mana. It's an insect. We can cast it from the graveyard for nothing. And then this thing says, whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Thank you so much. Blood Spits. I really appreciate your help here. Otherwise, I'm screwed. Crowcore Games. Titten. Is this a serious call? This is serious. It's called Titten Call. Okay, this cannot... Or Tlin Kali? Hunter, okay. Light up the stage. Beanstalk Giant. So what's the combo here? Beanstalk in graveyard, and the Hunter cascaded into or exiled. So we want to light up the stage, get the Hunter into exile. I don't know why it needs to be from exile. What does the Beanstalk Giant say? Its power and toughness is each equal to the number of lands you control. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle. I don't understand the point of this. Okay, Trample. Once each turn, you may pay 0, then pay the mana cost for a creature spell you cast from exile. What does it do? Play the Hunter, then use its ability. Did I misread this? Beanstalk in... Oh, the Beanstalk's in... No, the Beanstalk is in graveyard? How the hell does this work? And the Hunter wants to be in exile. And what does Cascade have to have anything to do with this? Okay, play the Hunter, then use the ability. Well, you didn't say that. You said you have to cascade into this or have it in exile. That was weird. Basically, exile something, then play Hunter. Yeah, okay. Oh, well, okay. I didn't understand your... It's literally said Beanstalk in graveyard, and the Lin Call cascaded into or exiled. So, okay, now I get it. Then we get, for once each turn, you may play 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a creature spell you cast from exile. And then just put things into exile. Also, Beanstalk Giant can go into exile through, you know, the adventures. Not Cascade. It's okay, we all have those days. Alright! Now I'm calling it quits. It was a great show. It was a great show, though. You all admit it was a great show. We had some great... It was actually a lot of good combos, not actually bad combos. More good combos than bad combos. Some of those combos can be refined into great combos. So thank you very much for joining me today. If you want to be part of the show, be part of the action, you got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Thank you very much for the support, everyone. I love the support. That's why I show up every morning. Keep those super chats coming. And if you want to support the channel, you can do it with the super chats to be part of the show. You can become a member on YouTube, and also you can become a patron on Patreon. Links to all that in the description below. But thank you very much. The thing that I appreciate the most, that supports the channel even more than anything, is for you guys that show up every morning to be part of it. Because without all you guys, I got nothing. I'm broke. I bow down to all of you. I bow down to the Mats, the Crocors, the Abzos, the Darth, the Tetra Timbo Man, the King Gingers, the Shanes, the Pyre Peteri Corhonens. Thanks so much, everyone, for being part of the show and be part of every morning. And as usual, keep brewing those coffees, my coffee crew, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.